We've got the latest signings and rumors on the free agent market, including the Cardinals as a mystery team for one free agent. Plus, the other catcher that was reportedly at the top of the Cardinals wish list has finally been traded in a massive three-team deal. We'll examine it to see if the Cardinals actually made the right choice by signing Willson Contreras instead. And another member of the team is going to play for Team USA for the World Baseball Classic. This is Locked On Cardinals.
You are Locked On Cardinals, your daily St. Louis Cardinals podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hey there, Cardinals fans. I'm JD Hafford. I'm a national radio sports anchor, born and raised in the Loop, and a lifetime Cardinals fan. And I'm your host for Locked On Cardinals, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, covering your team every day. You can follow me on Twitter at JD Sports Radio. Follow the podcast at LO_Cardinals. I want to thank those of you who make Locked On Cardinals your first listen every day. We are free and available wherever you get your podcasts, whether it be iTunes, Spotify, Google Podcast. Also available on YouTube. Like and subscribe and comment so you can interact with us. Hit the notification button so you know when new episodes get posted. This is a show serving Cardinal Nation and giving the best fans in baseball all of the info about the birds on the bat. So I hope the weekend was good. I hope you enjoyed it. Had a chance to kind of savor the Willson Contreras deal and all its glory. And now we got to move on. Now we got to move on with our lives, right? Off season does not stop. It continues. I put out a podcast and a video very, very late on Friday night. So if you didn't get a chance to check it out, be sure to do so, because in that episode, I asked the question, does the Contreras addition improve the Cardinals enough to get them to that next level, to compete with the likes of the Dodgers, the Padres, the Mets, Braves, Phillies, all those big markets? And here were some of your responses. Zach Howard says, another starting pitcher would be huge. David Ilgus says, you know what would push this team to the next level? Carlos Rodon. Edward Prasuti. No, it's not. Starting pitching is still a desperate need. Don't tread on me says, roster full of number 4 and number 5 starting pitchers. Would love a top-end guy, but I'm not holding my breath. Only starting pitcher currently signed through 2024 is Matz. And that kind of sums up how I feel about things as well. You guys nailed it. I love the signing of Contreras. I love the attitude. I love the passion. My favorite thing I think about Contreras is that he wanted to be here. You know, he wanted to be a Cardinal. He didn't just come because the Cardinals offered the most years or the most money. He just envisioned himself playing for the Cardinals, and he made it a reality. So I dig that. But I don't believe that Contreras is enough. I think it's a great start. I think that's great if you want to compete and win the NL Central, that he's good enough. But to compete and win the World Championship, which is what the ultimate goal is supposed to be, I think this team needs more. And you can argue that another bat is needed. You can. And it might be. But personally, if I have to make a choice, okay, I'd rather gamble on the younger hitters that you already have in your system. Guys like Nolan Gorman and Juan Yepes and Alec Burleson and Jordan Walker, to be those additional sluggers. And I'd rather have them, give them an opportunity, and then bring in a top-of-the-line starter. Like pay for one of those as opposed to paying for another bat and then relying on the young pitchers to come through and hopefully surprise you and be that ace, you know? Don't get me wrong. A lot of great bats still out there on the market. Dansby Swanson, newly married Dansby Swanson, by the way, married a soccer player. Congratulations to Mr. Swanson, or I should say to the Swansons. Carlos Correa still out there at shortstop. You've got names like JD Martinez, Joey Gallo, Trey Mancini, Evan Longoria, Gene Segura, Andrew Benintendi, Michael Brantley, Andrew McCutchen. I mean, these are good names. These are good ball players, and any of them would be great additions to this team. But I still come back to finding that ace is what they're missing. That's what the Cardinals are missing, in my opinion. And if you want to get one of those guys, it's going to cost you. But I need one of those for this team to go out there and go up against, say, another team's ace and feel confident with, I mean, the guys that we got in the starting rotation right now, they're good pitchers. But do any of them frighten another team ever? Like when we fill out the card and you see, oh man, so and so's pitching today. Do you think anybody says that when they go up against the Cardinals? Like, here comes Adam Wainwright. Maybe back in the day they did, but I don't know if they fear Adam the way they used to. Like, is anybody worried that Miles Mikolas is pitching today? I don't think so. And if you get into a series and you have to face, say, the Phillies again, they've got Zach Wheeler and Aaron Nola. Like, you don't want to face those guys. When you see Zach Wheeler's coming up and you have to face them, you're like, ugh, that's going to be rough. Or how about the Mets? They've got Max Scherzer and Justin Verlander. I mean, you don't want to face those guys. They just acquired Kodai Senga. They signed him from overseas. The Dodgers got a bunch of dudes. Walker Buehler, Julio Urias, Clayton Kershaw, Tony Gonsolin. You don't want to face any of those guys. The Braves, Max Fried, Spencer Strider, Kyle Wright. Maybe the Cardinals pitchers are better than I give them credit for, but it just feels to me like they are well behind these teams when it comes to the arms race for starting pitching. And that's where the name Carlos Rodon continues to come into play. After DeGrom and Verlander, as far as the free agent market went, Rodon was widely considered the last of the number one ace-type pitchers that's available in free agency, and he still hasn't signed with anyone yet. And I've said repeatedly that he seems like a great fit for the Cardinals. He's a left-hander, throws a ton of strikes, massive swing and miss, would be cheaper than DeGrom and Verlander, way younger than both of them. So here's the latest rumor on Rodon. The Yankees are said to be preparing an offer for the left-hander, who is reportedly looking for a 7-year deal. Earlier this week, MLB.com's John Paul Morosi mentioned the Dodgers and Red Sox as teams to watch for Rodon. According to MLB Network's John Heyman, the Cardinals are believed to be involved as a not-so-mysterious mystery team, which was a really goofy tweet when he put it out there, right? St. Louis has only 2 starting pitchers under contract after 2023, Dakota Hudson and Steven Matz. Hudson may not even be a starter. He might be like one of those long relief guys. We don't know yet. But he's what they're picturing for this season, at least as of right now, is that Dakota Hudson will be that swingman who, is going to be a long relief guy. But when you need him to come in and throw 7, say there's a doubleheader or something, that he would be the guy. He'd be like the first person they try to bring in. I think Palante would be the guy after that. But the story continues with the Twins and Orioles are 2 other clubs that have been linked to Rodon. Now, Rodon's former team, the Giants, just signed former A's and Padres left-hander Sean Manaea to a 2-year deal, but are still trying to get Rodon to return. Now, Manaea was another name that I brought up that I mentioned as a possible fallback option, but he's gone now, so there's no point in talking about him anymore. Chris Bassett, another guy I really, really like, thought would be a fantastic signing and would have been cheaper than these other guys. He's gone. Inked a 3-year deal with the Blue Jays today. You still got guys like Nathan Eovaldi, Noah Syndergaard, Corey Kluber. They're sitting there. But none of those guys are the impact arms that Carlos Rodon would be. We can all agree on that, right? And if it comes down to a bidding war between, say, the Cardinals and the Yankees, can the Cardinals even offer anything close to what New York can do? I mean, sheer market size and how much money they have as far as TV and stuff. Like, Cardinals to compete with that is going to be really, really rough. I said that to some of my buddies in a text because they're like, sign Rodon. And I'm like, yeah, but if the Yankees won him, how are you gonna beat him? And they're like, offer more money. Well, it's the Yankees kind of have a thing called unlimited funds, pretty much. So it's gonna be tough. Somebody is going to pay Carlos Rodon big, and I would love for it to be St. Louis. But Derek Gould from the Post-Dispatch and STLtoday.com did write this. For his part, Mozeliak has remained coy, stating that while the team does have some resources available, but that he wouldn't believe many of the rumors you're reading right now in reference to the Carlos Rodon talk. So that doesn't exactly sound promising, does it? But we know that Mozeliak can have a pretty good poker face. So I'll wait and see. I'll be patient on this one, but I'm curious how long Rodon stays out there. I mean, somebody's got to take him, right? There was a major 3-team trade today. that involved catcher Sean Murphy and Willson Contreras' brother William. We're going to break that down for you next here on Locked On Cardinals. BetOnline.net is your number one source for sports betting info, stats, news, and analysis. You can get the latest odds and trends for every professional and amateur league out there, from pro football to college bowl season to basketball and World Cup. They've got it all at BetOnline.net. You've got Monday Night Football tonight. The Patriots at the Arizona Cardinals. Pat's favored by 2 if you're interested in that. How about the other football on Tuesday? You've got Argentina versus Croatia in the semifinals of the World Cup. Then on Wednesday, it's France against Morocco. I don't know who you're rooting for. My younger brother told me I should be rooting for a France-Argentina game. He said that would be the best game, but I like upsets. I think they're fun. I've been enjoying this. Like the Croatia win over Brazil was awesome. I thought that was so cool. So, but you can bet on these games. They're always the fastest and easiest way to get your betting info. So head to the website today, or you can use your mobile device to learn more. Bet online, where the game starts. Thanks for making Locked On Cardinals your first listen today. For your second listen, check out Locked On Sports today. From the games that matter the most to the biggest stories in sports, go beyond the scoreboard and behind the scenes with local experts and insights that only Locked On can provide. Locked On Sports today, available on this app, YouTube, and wherever you get your podcasts. Sean Murphy was considered by many, including myself, the top available catcher this offseason. But you had to trade for him. He wasn't a free agent. He provides solid offense, elite level catching abilities, and it was rumored that the Cardinals were in deep discussion on a trade to bring him to St. Louis. But inevitably, the Cardinals decided that signing free agent catcher Willson Contreras was a better fit for them. And considering what the A's were rumored to be asking in return for Murphy, I can see why they would change their mind and go to Willson Contreras. The rumors, in case you missed it last week, was that they wanted, or at least asked for, Lars Nootbaar, Brendan Donovan, and a top power pitching arm like Gordon Graceffo, who is currently the top pitching prospect in the Cardinals system. Hefty price indeed, if you were to give that up, and one that ultimately proved to be just too much for them. So the Cardinals pivoted to Contreras, who was more, in my opinion, was more of a plan 1B than he was like just a backup plan. It wasn't like we have to get Murphy or we're screwed. I don't think they looked at it that way. I think they were like, you know what? Let's do our due diligence. Let's see what the A's want. And if it's too much and we don't like it, we would love to have Contreras too. I think that's more how it went. And today the A's finally made a trade involving Sean Murphy. He's on the move, and it is a doozy of a 3-team trade involving the Oakland A's, the Atlanta Braves, and the Milwaukee Brewers. So here's what happened. Atlanta gets Sean Murphy, which was the key to all of this, right? And I'm going to bring this up. If you're on YouTube, I am going to bring up what the trade looks like. I've got it saved here for you. Here we go. Let me bring this here. All right, there you go. So now it's up on the screen on YouTube, so you can check it out. So the Atlanta gets Sean Murphy. The A's get 5 players. They get outfielder Esteury Ruiz from the Brewers, which was the club's number 8 ranked prospect. They get catcher Manny Pena from the Braves. Also, left-handed pitcher Kyle Muller. I'm not sure exactly how he says it, but they get him from the Braves. He was Atlanta's number 1 ranked prospect. They get right-handed pitcher Freddie Tarnok from the Braves, their number 6 prospect, and right-handed pitcher Royber Salinas from the Braves, their number 18 ranked prospect. Milwaukee got involved in this one, and they're getting Willson Contreras' brother William Contreras from the Braves. They also get right-handed pitcher Yoel Payamps from the A's and right-handed pitcher Justin Yeager from the Braves. I mean, holy crap. That is a lot coming to Oakland. Will any of these prospects pan out? That's the real key for Oakland here, because we don't know. We don't know, but the Braves were clearly all in on this move. I mean, not only to trade 3 top 20 prospects, including their number 1 overall prospect, but they also traded away 2 catchers, including new Cardinal Willson Contreras' brother William, who was an all-star last year. He was the starting DH for the NL. Hit 278, 20 bombs, 45 ribbies in just 97 games. He's only 24 years old, and they gave him up. Clearly, the Braves are trying to win it all, and they want to win now. So they went for it. And these are the things that I wish the Cardinals would do as far as just going for someone like a Carlos Rodon. Just go for it, man. Just just do it. Just go for it. We know he's good. We think he'll be worth it. And what kind of sucks now is that William Contreras is now in the division for Milwaukee, who gave up that top prospect, Ruiz, who they got from the Padres in the Josh Hader deal this year. So they traded Ruiz basically for Contreras and 2 relievers. Ruiz had an incredible season in the minors, by the way, hit .332 this year, 16 home runs, 65 RBIs, and 85 stolen bases to lead all of minor league baseball. It's pretty good. And it's not like he was doing this at A-ball, you guys. He was doing this at AA and then AAA. So he's a solid prospect. So if we take what the Braves gave up and we put that into Cardinals terms as far as the number of prospect they gave up. So they gave up their number 1 prospect for the Cardinals. That would be Jordan Walker. We know that wasn't going to happen. But let's just say number 2 prospect, Mason Wynn, the shortstop. He goes. The Braves traded their number 6 prospect. The Cardinals' number 6 is relief pitcher Tien Kentz, who a lot of people love. Their number 18 prospect, ironically, is an 18-year-old catching prospect named Leonardo Bernal. And then you also had to give up a starting type catcher. Andrew Kisner's not gonna cut it there. So let's say you had to throw in Ivan Herrera, plus another young reliever Atlanta gave up. So I'm gonna say somebody like an Andre Palante would have filled that role. What do you think the reaction would have been from the Cardinal fans if that was what the Cardinals gave up and got Sean Murphy? So it would have been Wynn, Hentz, Bernal, Herrera, and Palante. That's a lot. That's a lot. And I feel like if you just Wynn and Hentz would have, caused a meltdown online, I feel like Cardinal fans would have gone crazy. But again, the Braves are going all in and now add Murphy's bat to a lineup that still we don't know yet, but may or may not be without Dansby Swanson. He hasn't signed anywhere yet, but still has Ronald Acuna Jr., Michael Harris II, your reigning NL Rookie of the Year, Matt Olson, Ozzie Albies, Austin Riley, Vaughn Grissom, and others. I mean, it's pretty formidable. Personally, I don't have a problem giving up prospects for known major league talent, but I think signing Contreras for the Cardinals, for this franchise, was probably the right choice. I feel like that kind of package would have been something I would have considered back in August when they were talking about getting Juan Soto. Would you have traded all those guys for a Juan Soto? I think I would have. I think I might have pulled the trigger on that one. But I just think it's a little more than I would have been willing to part for Murphy. And a reason for that is because you already have another option. You had Willson Contreras there. If you got painted in a corner and say Contreras had signed with somebody else and then it was just Sean Murphy left, you might have to send all those prospects over to get the guy you wanted. Then you would have had to do it. But you still had Contreras there, and we'll see how it all plays out. But to me, it seems like the A's tried to take advantage of a situation with the Cardinals where they knew the Cardinals were desperate for a catcher. They had to get one. And so they asked for a big package out of it. Nootbaar, Donovan, Graceffo. And the Cardinals said, no, thanks. And went with the guy I think they liked all along. And I think John Mozeliak in the front office are going to sleep well at night knowing they got him. Contreras may not be the better catcher, but he seems like the right person, doesn't he? Like personality-wise, doesn't he seem like the right guy for this team? And I think that was a big part of it. One of the other catching options that we mentioned this offseason also signed tonight, Christian Vasquez. He's gone. Reportedly agreed to a 3-year deal with the Minnesota Twins, which means the catching market is getting really thin now for teams still searching for capable backstops. Another Cardinal is set to play for Team USA at the World Baseball Classic. They got 4 of them on the roster now. We'll tell you who the next one is on Locked On Cardinals. Now, at Locked On Cardinals, we believe home should be where you and your family feel safest, especially over the holidays. This season, give yourself and your family the gift of peace and protection with the #1 rated home security system, SimpliSafe. And right now, SimpliSafe is offering Locked On Cardinals listeners 40% off a new security system, but don't put this off. SimpliSafe was named the best home security system of 2022 by U.S. News & World Report for a 3rd year in a row. In an emergency, they've got your 24/7 professional monitoring agents using the Fast Protect technology. exclusively from SimpliSafe, nobody else has it, to capture critical evidence and verify that the threat is real so you can get higher priority police response. SimpliSafe is whole home security with advanced sensors for every room, every window, and every door. The HD security cameras for inside and out, smarter ways to detect motion that alert you when a threat is real, hazard sensors for fires, floods, and other threats to your home. They'll make sure that you're safe with all of that. The app, we know that the apps are very, very fun with SimpliSafe and very, very, very popular as well. So you can stay in complete control of your system, arm and disarm. You can unlock for a guest, access your cameras, adjust system settings, all from the app on your phone, anytime, anywhere. So don't miss your chance to save big on our favorite security system. Get 40% off any new system at simplysafe.com/lockedonmlb today. That's simplysafe.com/lockedonmlb. There's no safe like SimpliSafe. The Cardinals were already set to be well represented at the World Baseball Classic in 2023. In case you're unfamiliar about all of this, the play will start on March 8th in Taiwan, but the U.S. team doesn't actually play until Pool C begins play. That'll be on March 11th, and they'll be playing in Arizona. Already committed to the team are third baseman Nolan Arenado, first baseman Paul Goldschmidt, and starting pitcher Adam Wainwright. And today it was made official that another starting pitcher from the Cardinals rotation will be joining Team USA, Miles Mikolas. Congratulations. He will be joining the Americans as they go to the World Baseball Classic and try to bring home another title. International competition, nothing new to Miles. I'm sure you're familiar with this, but in case you aren't, he pitched 3 seasons with the Yomiuri? Is that what it is? The Giants from 2015 to 2017 before coming back to the majors in 2018 and signing with the Cardinals. So looking at the lineup right now for Team USA, catchers, you've got JT Realmuto and Will Smith, arguably the 2 best in the game. At first base, Paul Goldschmidt and Pete Alonso. Second baseman, you've got Trevor Story. Shortstop, it's Tim Anderson and Bobby Witt Jr. Third base, Nolan Arenado. Your outfield is Mookie Betts, Cedric Mullins, Mike Trout, Kyle Tucker. Your starting pitchers, Nestor Cortez, Kyle Freeland, Merrill Kelly, Miles Mikolas now, Brady Singer, Adam Wainwright, and Logan Webb. And in the bullpen so far, David Bednar, Ryan Presley, Dylan Tate, and St. Louis and Devin Williams. And in case you're wondering, because it takes place in March, that means it obviously is going to eat into the spring training for players that, are participating in this. Opening day for the Cardinals is March 30th at Busch Stadium against the Toronto Blue Jays. And then, it'll be wrapped up. I think the championship was March 21st is the date that the championship will take place for the World Baseball Classic. But I don't know. Fingers crossed that none of our boys get hurt. That's all I'm worried about. Stay healthy, guys. Thanks for making Locked On Cardinals your first listen today. For your next listen, check out the Locked On Sports Today podcast, the biggest stories of the day, plus instant reactions, big game recaps, and the take of the day. Available on the Odyssey app, YouTube, and wherever you get your podcasts. As always, be sure to like and subscribe on YouTube. Follow on Twitter at LO_Cardinals and at JD Sports Radio. You're the best fans in baseball for a reason, and I'll see you next time on Locked On Cardinals.